My head looks so big next to yours.
Your head is fucking massive.
Look how big my box is.
Hello and welcome to Tales of a Failed Life. I'm with my wife today and we're going to be talking about being old people. We wanted to do a list of things that were normal for our generation, but if we showed them to kids today, they would have no goddamn idea what we were talking about. We're going full boomer in this episode. I'm going full boomer.
Old people.
We're fucking old people, man. Kids don't understand. And when I was younger, the old people used to be like, y'all kids don't know what it was like. And now I'm that old motherfucker like, y'all kids don't know what it was like. Let's talk about porn. Let's talk about the fucking ease of access that everyone has to porn. Back then, I used to accidentally have to find porn in the forest.
What? In the forest?
That's a thing. You never just found some porn in the woods?
No.
Never?
No, I don't think I go to those forests.
I have found so much porn in the woods. Yeah, you never found porn in the woods?
No. I used to find mine on like in between channels. We had this TV that it was like a normal TV, but somehow you would get to this other channel and it was all fuzzy. You couldn't really see what it was.
You're talking about the wavy line channel?
Mm-hmm.
And you could still turn on the channel, but your cable package didn't have access to the channel. And nowadays you'll just get the error message of like, upgrade your package now. But back then I was like, I'm trying to upgrade my own package by watching porn. There was a bunch of wavy lines and there'd be sounds. The sound would usually come in okay, but like it would get wonky at times. And you could listen like, maybe that's fucking? I don't know. Could be fucking. Every now and then you'd get hella lucky and there'd be like a full-fledged boobie. Remember that?
And LimeWire and Napster, accidentally getting porn when you think you're gonna have a song. So LimeWire was a program that you could download, and from there you can download pretty much anything that you wanted.
Movies, music, fucking whatever you wanted was on there. You'd be like, oh man, I want to listen to whatever. I want to listen to some Smash Mouth. Let me download that whole album. And then it would take you like 6 months to download an album. Because
it would go from like 6 months to 5 weeks to 2 hours.
But then you'd download it and you'd have your precious Smash Mouth album and you'd click the first song getting ready to hear it and all of a sudden it's fucking illegal porn. There was no way of knowing what you were going to get once you downloaded this shit. And most of it was either legal porn or very, very illegal porn.
Luckily, I don't think I ever got any of that. I did find new music that way, though.
Through illegal porn?
No. Yeah, there was this one great album.
So we were talking about flipping through the cable channels. Do you remember how you found out what was on TV back then?
There was a scrolling TV guide.
That thing. Nowadays you have the digital guide button and you click it and it's like, what's on HBO right now? Back then, say you wanted channel, I don't know, 93. What's on channel 93 tonight? So you turn on the guide channel and it was a scrolling list of, a very, very slow scrolling list of channels. And if it was on channel 3, you'd just sit there for goddamn 2 hours and wait for this motherfucker to scroll all the way up to channel 93. And go out like a real boomer, get you one of them TV guide boys.
Ooh.
One of the magazines with the fucking, okay, what's on channel 86 tonight? Ah, Harry Blows the Fucking Neighbor is on again. I am not watching that. I never watched Harry Blows the Neighbor though.
No.
So I can't watch Harry Blows the Neighbor again because I'll be lost.
I don't have spoilers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't want spoilers.
Yeah, and the sequels are never as good, so I'll start with the first one.
It's been out for so long.
But yeah, we never watched it. We really keep sleeping on Harry Blows the Neighbor.
Can we move on?
Harry Blows the Milkman Part 1 and Harry Blows the Milkman again. And then we got Part 3, Harry Blows the Neighbor Resurrection. It's in so many.
Is it a horror movie?
No.
No. Can we do can there be a horror one?
This summer, Harry gonna blow the neighbor.
I like how that's your only tagline.
Dude,
Nothing else.
You don't bury the lead in a movie like that. You gotta let him know up front, like, you know, Batman versus Superman. What was that movie? It was Batman versus. This is Harry Blows the Neighbor.
Remember that movie?
That movie sucks.
It always reminded me of like snow days when you wake up like an hour before you have to see if you're gonna have school or not, and
oh yeah,
God forbid you looked away at your letter.
God, everything just changed so radically with the internet. The ease of access to everything in our lifetime. Like, we went from no technology in our pockets to all the technology in our pockets. It's fucking crazy. Oh my god, and you talk about, like, look at all the fucking mobile apps and games you can play on your phone right now. Like, I can play real games. I think I can play, like, Fortnite on my phone if I wanted to. Back then, you know what we had on those Nokia phones? Snake! Or the little
Don't be dissing Snake.
I love Snake. You fucking hit the 6 or the 9 and it would go left or right. Like I said, we went from none of the technology to all of the technology so quickly. So we were talking about movies and shows and all that shit. How about renting, going to a fucking Blockbuster and renting shit? Physically having to leave your sofa to rent a movie.
It was a whole family outing.
I do really miss the ritual of renting movies. Like, I really do. There was something to, everybody gets together, we all go to the video store, and then it was a no-holds-barred fist fight on which one we were gonna pick.
Pretty much.
Me and my aunt usually went on the weekends. Like, every weekend, we'd go to the Blockbuster, the Hollywood Video, and we'd pick out a movie that we knew we would probably like a new release, one of the big hits. And then we'd go out of our way to intentionally pick the worst looking movie that we ever found. Look up The House That Screamed. If anybody, I'll give you a prize if you could sit through that whole fucking movie. It's just the worst thing I've ever seen. There's a fat ugly man in a towel for like 80% of the film. It's shitty.
I've never seen it.
Good!
Am I the lucky one?
Everyone who hasn't seen The House That Screamed is the lucky one. I wake up sometimes feeling real bad, you know, having a bad day, just a shitty one, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to watch The House That Screamed today.
It's a good day.
It ain't that bad. Things I don't have to watch The House That Screamed today. Things can't be that bad. Oh, to kind of harken back to the having to call people's houses. How about physically having to get up and find somebody? Remember that?
Oh.
Remember that shit? It was a nightmare. Like, oh, ain't nothing to do today. Let me call my friend. Ring, ring. Nope, he ain't there. I'm on foot. I'm around town. I'm hunting this motherfucker. And you'd think like, okay, they like to hang out here. They're sometimes over there. His mom don't know where he is, so I'm fucked. I'm on foot. I'm doing it old school.
It was so exhausting.
You might, if you wanted to hang out with a friend that wasn't home, you might walk all fucking day to all of his hangouts, and that motherfucker ain't nowhere to be found.
You won't find him.
Then you just spend a whole ass day like getting exercise like a chump.
Exercise in sunshine.
Ugh. I wanted to bring up fucking music. Nowadays, between YouTube and Spotify, Pandora, you can find anything you want to listen to. Back then, if I wanted to go on one of those hunts for my friends on foot, and I wanted to listen to music, you had to take a fucking Discman.
Oh,
you had to take one of the Discmans
so
and put a CD into it. That stands for compact disc, guys.
Yeah, you can't work out with those. Doesn't work.
No.
You'll skip every single, you'll scratch every CD you own.
Yes. The lack of ease to music and other things made hustling better. See, I used to burn CDs for people. They're like, what do you want? And they'd be like, I want that Smash Mouth you were talking about earlier. And I'd be like, all right, word, $5 for this whole Smash Mouth album. And then I go to school and I'd fucking slang my discs. I was called Mr. Nice Guy Audio. Fucking.
Were you really?
I was. Yeah, I stole it from Half Baked.
Oh, you nerd.
Yeah, we even printed labels for the CDs and everything. We sell. Try fucking doing that nowadays. You'd be like trying to slang a CD, like, what the fuck is that frisbee? I talked to my dad about all this, and he brought up one that I barely remember, which is payphones. Have you ever, even back then, did you ever use a payphone? Like, pay a couple dollars to use a payphone?
Maybe once or twice. Well, that's kind of, I think, before our time, really.
I had a scam. I had a payphone scam. I got it from a commercial back in the day.
You were such a hood rat.
I grew up in the hood. I did hood shit. It's just what happens. I saw a commercial one time where they would call collect to somebody, and they'd be like, you have a collect call from, yo, it's Bob, bring me that shit. And I was like, that's a good idea. So I would call, like if I needed a ride somewhere, I'd call somebody and they'd be like, you have a collect call from, yo, I'm at the mall, pick me up, motherfucker. But you couldn't get an answer. Like they couldn't answer you back. It was a one-way message.
It's kind of like a pager. Exactly like a pager.
Oh my God.
I wanted a pager. I was too young for them. I had no need. Nobody called me.
I think I knew one person with a pager, and I was like 10, and I was like so confused because I'm like, pager, I always saw pagers in movies, and it was like the executive needed his pager, or the doctor is on call, he needed his pager. And I was like, this fool doesn't even have a fucking job. is my uncle. And I'm like, this fool doesn't do jack shit. Who the fuck is paging this guy? And then I remembered he was a drug dealer.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, very discreet way back in the day.
Back in the 90s, yeah. Drug dealer, apparently pagers were hella popular with drug dealers. I used to have to go to my drug dealer's house in person. That was crazy.